Presenting the dazzling new Desire, the best and beyond.
We've put Samson at the top of the order, especially with the recent form he's had for India. It'll be hard moving him out. Jaiswal, Samson, Rana at 3, and Parag 4. Jurel potentially a number 5 now, along with Hetmeyer. We put Hasaranga and Jofra Archer there at 7 and 8, but Shubham Dubey could easily be in your batting 11 and Madhwal in your bowling 11, so they could play around with that. And we've got Deshpande and Sandeep Sharma. I'm very curious to hear the panel's thoughts on this. Tom, why don't you start us off?
This one's quite puzzling, to be honest with you. 6 overseas players with 2 of them being Sri Lankan spinners. Yes, they're different types of spinners. So, are you playing them in the same side? Faruqi, I like that recruitment. I thought Faruqi was a bit of a steal at that price. I think he's a underrated bowler. He's a genuine wicket taker and he can bowl in all 3 phases of the game. I think they look light on the depth of their overseas players and the flexibility of their overseas combinations. Yes, they have recovered with some good domestic bowlers, fast bowlers, but if Archer goes down at some stage, to me they look considerably weaker side. But if Archer remains fit and is in that side permanently for 14 plus games, finals, hopefully for their case, I think they look a strong outfit.
Matt?
Yeah, I think the other thing potentially is batting depth. If you look at that projected side we've got there, I think Hasaranga looks Archer in particular probably looks a spot higher at number 8, but I think what they might do is use Hasaranga as that floater in the same way they did with Ashwin over the most recent auction cycle. I think the pace bowling attack looks a little light unless they play Faruqi as well as Archer, who I agree with Moods. I think he was a steal at 2. I think that the one real saving grace for Rajasthan, having invested so heavily in that batting core, was the fact that they managed to pick up Nitish Rana for 4.2 crore, which I think is one of the bargains of this auction. I think a player of his quality and the way he complements the rest of the top 6, where they've got 3 left-handers, 3 right-handers, I think that was a really, really good bit of business that's kind of saved their auction because they didn't have a huge amount to invest in the bowling attack, and it does look probably not quite as strong as it has in previous years when they had the Ashwin-Chahal combination.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the bowling, it's nowhere near what it was last year. Bolt, Chahal, Ashwin, Avesh Khan, and that seemed like a really formidable 5. Now, it's not easy to get replacements for all those players, and they tried for Bolt, but they ended up getting Archer. Where do you stand on the RR team?
No, I think I've never seen a team that's playing 2 overseas spinners, and I think it just tells me that Rahul Dravid doesn't rate the other Indian spinners very high, apart from Chahal and Ashwin.
He doesn't rate Chahal very highly either. He sent him into the auction.
No, but he couldn't have.
At least he bid for him.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so I don't think he rated the other Indian spinners. So I think it was a on-table call to go with that strategy of 2 overseas spinners. They missed out on Prasidh Krishna and Avesh Khan, so which potentially could have boosted their bowling attack a little more, because it was a clear strategy to have an formidable Indian bowling lineup complementing the 2 Sri Lankan spinners.
Yep.
And now, like just Tom says, they're banking on Archer playing the 14 games.
Yeah, they did bid for both Prasidh and Avesh, but then just stopped short. I think because they were waiting for Archer. I think probably that order, it went against them a little bit because they seemed dead set on getting a big overseas name, either Bolt or Archer, which is why they didn't really go up, above 10 or 11 for any of the Indian seamers. But then it has left them a little bit light on Indian seam bowlers, because it's basically Akash Madhwal and Tushar Deshpande, both with potential but fairly inexperienced.
Yeah.
Either you have a number 7 who doesn't really bowl, or you have a number 8 that doesn't really bat. You have an Archer at 8, or you have a Dubey at 7.
If you put in Shubham Dubey at 7 in a batting first team, and then sub him out for an Akash Madhwal, I think you still have enough options in that team. And these CBs given the go-ahead, surely, Matt, before Jofra.
Yeah, well, I can't see him turning down 12.5 crore to play for Sussex in the county championship. Can you?
Yeah. All right. Now, I think Tom called it yesterday simply. He's not going to be playing a lot of Test cricket. Let's get ratings. Tom Moody.
I'm saying 6.5.
Matt?
I'll go 7.5.
Okay.
I'm in between 7.
7 for Sridharan Sriram.
6.5.
6.5. I'll give him a 7. 7 for me for Rajasthan Royals. I think they'll be all right.
Presenting the dazzling new Desire, the best and beyond.